take people's word for things too much. Up until 2 months ago, I've never seen this movie, but I was convinced I hated it because that's what all the cool kids are saying. But if you can believe it, this all started with a video where I ranked cartoon moms. Somebody beefing with the beautiful mother of Milo from Mars Needs Moms inspired me to make this very video where I break down the movie and explain why it should be a cult classic. It's gonna be an out-of-this-world experience.
Your video tipping the show. I am.
Butt lovers, Vidcon was great, thank you for asking. Quite the trip from Anaheim to Portland, and now finally for our last stop, Mars. Mars Needs Moms was released in 2011, and if you can believe it, this is a Disney movie. Most people will immediately trash it for its strange appearance.
What the fuck is that fucking thing? What the fuck?
If you were to ask me to describe the appearance offhandedly, I would point to a movie like, say, Strange Magic. But on a deeper level, it looks like you peeled Jimmy Neutron like an orange and put his rubbery skin over the characters from Polar Express. Genuinely, that's the only way I could think to describe it. It's going for photorealism, but the eyes are so buggy. The skin is elastic, and dare I say, it's cool as fuck. I like uncanny shit. I'm tired of studios playing it safe. Be weird. Be off-putting. Be like me. I've never felt more represented by such a gargantuan alien ass. Even Pixar doesn't have the balls to create such proportions. I'm getting ahead of myself. The movie was based on a book of the same name by Berkeley Breathed. And Berkeley didn't just breathe, she ate! More of that in a bit. Let's cover the movie first because there's a lot more of it. The movie starts with the Mars rover exclaiming that they may have found evidence of life on Mars in the past. The past? Try flipping now, buddy! We make our way deeper into the surface of Mars, where a baby Martian emerges from the ground. We see a young alien woman admiring the terrifying newborn before menacing Star Wars-like music plays. As an older Martian woman enters, who's clearly the villain, to scoff at the baby. Younger Martian lady is like, I don't know, I kind of want to hug it and protect it. Protect yourself from this old disapproving command, bitch. They begin watching different moms on Earth to decide which one to abduct. I'm not sure if the movie has made it obvious enough yet, but Mars Needs Moms.
Like the title?
Yeah. The first Midwestern mom we see is a pushover to a hilarious degree. Her kid was given 3 different ice cream cones from the ice cream truck, and she threw them all on the ground. No, but really, I wish we heard some of the audio in this scene. I really need more context. Mom, I told you I'm lactose intolerant! Another mom is trying to stop her kids from going World Star on each other, completely unaware that they're also being spied on from what looks like the Death Star. Finally, after 2 whole failures, the Martians spot Milo. At first, it seems like he won't take out the trash like his mom asked, and before the young Martian woman can flip the channel, Granny Martian says, "Hold on to your Martian horses and let her cook." And cook Milo's mom does indeed. Trash can, now! And he listens, so she's perfect. A target glows around her face as an angelic choir sings to further drive the point home that she is the chosen one. Old Martian pats young Martian's hand and exclaims, "Metua." Young Martian woman has the most corporate smile plastered on her face before her superior turns her back, allowing her to let out this huge eye roll. She's been fighting that all day, I could tell. What wildly humanist thing do you think that old matriarch said to make her react like that? I wanted one full of more milk, but she'll have to do. I told you I'm lactose intolerant, but whatever. We cut to Earth to watch Milo and his mom's conflict. She tries to teach him about responsibility. And it's not like she isn't doing anything, she's vacuuming the entire house. But when she asks him if he can answer the phone, little dude is fed up. I have to do everything around here. It's not even like she commanded him to answer the phone. She said, and I quote, "Milo, sweetie, can you get that?" Dude, that is a question. And she's asking this over the sound of a vacuum cleaner. Life hack, If you don't want to do it, just pretend you didn't hear her and sprint up the stairs. Instead, he answers the phone comparing himself to a slave, and his dad calls him a little stinker. He excitedly exclaims, "Dad!" So they don't have caller ID. He was surprised that it was his dad on the other line. If his slave greeting was received by anyone other than his father, I think his mom should have disciplined him again. People will say all the time that his mom is too hard on him, but quite frankly, I don't think she's hard enough on him. But I digress. His father is stuck in the airport during a storm, and Milo is bummed because they were going to watch a movie together. To cheer Milo up, his mother says she'll let him watch a zombie movie if he finishes his dinner. Now here's one of the movie's main plot controversies. The mom is trying to get Milo to finish his broccoli. I understand both sides of this debate. You want to try to expose your kids to healthy foods, but if the kid genuinely hates broccoli, why force him to eat it? But here's the other thing. Does he really hate broccoli, or does he just hate the way it looks? He says it looks like brains. And his mom tries to relate to him by bringing up the zombie movie thing. Oh, you like the zombies? They eat brains. Sorry I have to give you a play-by-play of this interaction, but it's truly just wild writing. Milo explains that he doesn't like zombies. They're an abomination. He's committed to their annihilation. Casual bars aside, the absolute balls it took for this movie to call anything an abomination is truly spectacular, and I admire their level of delusion. That's how I'm trying to be. The real punishment really kicks in when Milo feeds the broccoli to their very strong-jawed cat. This cat's not meowing. It's mewing. After the kid puts his shoes on the couch and makes the cat throw up, his mom says broccoli is poisonous to cats, but that's fully not true. It is bad for them if you give them a lot, and to be fair, Milo gave this cat a lot of broccoli. The mom sent Milo to his room for lying and making the cat sick, and guess what? I think that's fair. There are too many Milo apologists out there. The little dude didn't even feel bad for making the cat throw up. The kid's unempathetic asshole tendencies continue as he leaves his dirty laundry scattered outside of his room and starts jumping on his bed. The mother exasperatedly says that her life would be a lot better if she didn't have to be a nagging mom. Emphasis on nagging. She isn't complaining about being a mom. She loves being a mom. But the repeated fighting, complaining, and constantly telling someone what they have to do is exhausting, and I don't blame her once again. You may think I'm fully on her side throughout the whole movie, but hold on a second, because after Milo says that his life would be better if he didn't have a mom at all, I think her reaction was a bit much. As mean as what he said was, the mom pausing in front of the door to squeeze out a tear was a bit excessive. You saw a bit of regret on his face, but at first his expression screamed, "Is this bitch for real?" And I'm over here asking myself the same thing. As I'm speaking right now, I'm playing out the scene in real time. It is so slow. This is not an organic reaction. She forced out that dramatic single tear to guilt him. I would have loved to see that backfire. I hate you, Mom. Yeah, I said it. Mom, that stinks. Yeah, not as stinky as your attitude. Yeah, you're right. Sorry for the whole kill yourself thing. You didn't say that. Yeah, but it's what I meant. Oh, not this again. Milo wakes up his cat to vent. He didn't apologize to the cat for making him vomit, but he does ask Cujo the cat if he should apologize to his mom. An even more bizarre choice is the fact that he slips on sneakers to walk to his mom's room. She's going to have to vacuum the house forever with this kid. Oh my god. It's a good thing he put on those shoes though, because he immediately has to sprint outside to try and stop his mom from being abducted. It makes me wonder if he saw the advice of slipping on shoes from some sort of zombie survival thing.
2 seconds later.
Apparently I tried giving this kid way too much credit, because according to the Zombiepedia wiki, he's supposed to be wearing boots, if you were wondering. Milo is hitting this spaceship trying to get his mom back. Do you think it works? Do you think this movie's 3 minutes long? No! The spaceship grabs a hold of his hoodie accidentally and throws him into it. So now he's flying up to Mars and he's really hype about this experience. He said his life would be better if he didn't have a mom. He manifested it. And as of right now, as he's flying through space, he feels correct. He passes out with pure joy and also the change in altitude. The only thing he should change is his attitude. Young alien lady with huge ass admires the sleeping mother of Milo before her old bitch boss yells at her again. She does her signature move of an eye roll before getting back to work. Also, hello, can't believe I'm still noticing new things about this movie. It's just such a work of art. But the Martians can't breathe air on their own planet's surface. They need air helmets for their own planet. They can only breathe the air inside Mars. Milo was discovered and he was put into a pod. This jail is very easy to escape from because a man in a speaker guides Milo down chute number 3. If he doesn't go down that chute, the lady Martians will shoot at him. I could make a very topical joke right now. I'm gonna refrain. This is about Mars, not our Earth bullshit. Milo lands on a pile of trash, symbolism for how he's been acting. Also, by the way, he loves it. He's still having a great time. Here's a part of the film that genuinely makes me very uncomfortable. All the Martian men who live in this garbage heap are supposed to be more primal in the way they move, in the way they mimic Milo, in the way they are easily amused. But the designs of these guys feels offensive. The jewelry and face paint, it was just not a good choice. The rest of the movie is so funny, but that leaves such a shit taste in my mouth. A hot air balloon picks up Milo to save him from being hugged by the Martian men. They may be an amalgamation of offensive stereotypes, but at least they're nice. Unlike those oppressive women sending them away to the trash with their massive dump trucks. This is when Milo meets Gribble, the adult human man that helped him escape through the speakers. Gribble is so excited to see another human, but the way he says this is, "It's been so long since I've seen another kid." Gribble claims he's from a space program sent by Reagan to take down space communists. He even has a joke about the red planet. Let's be real, if he didn't go for it, I would have. Martians, more like Marxians. See, that doesn't work as well. It's obvious right at the start that he made this up just to impress Milo. We'll save the trauma dumping for later. For now, let's just jump around. Jump, jump, jump around. That's the song I think they should have played. Another really fascinating choice this movie makes is the soundtrack is all instrumental until we get to the credits. And for such a bouncy, silly movie, I really think there should have been a sequence backed up by pop or hip-hop. Take a page out of the Jimmy Neutron movie. It would have helped the pacing tremendously. Because as much as I vouch for this movie saying it should be a cult classic, I've only ever watched it in double speed and it still feels slow. The pacing is butt, and not in a good way. Gribble shows off his inventions. One stabilizes gravity, another translates Martian to English. At first I just assumed he stole this tech, but why would Martians need to translate their language into English? I don't know how Gribble made these inventions, or how he found his robotic pet named Two Cat. All I'm gonna say is there is prequel potential. As off-putting as Gribble is being, immediately being very clingy to this child, he's been completely isolated for a long time. And his survival skills are actually so impressive. I want a Gribble prequel series. I am the only person in this demographic, but I need it. Don't make me write fan fiction of Mars needs moms. I'm not above doing that. I'm just looking for any reason not to at this point. Milo sees his mom on Gribble's surveillance cameras, and he asks Gribble what the Martians are doing to her. Gribble gets very sad and uncomfortable and desperately tries to change the subject. He turns off the TV, tries to distract Milo. Milo turns the TV back on, puts on the translator, and hears that they are going to terminate her. Gribble still thinks he can sweep this under the rug, and Milo has had enough, so he purple nurples him to get information out of him. Gribble gives almost all the context. Every 25 years, Martian babies that they call hatchlings sprout out of the ground, and they are raised by nanny robots. The nanny robots stop working after raising one kid, because raising kids is hard work. Parent propaganda. I mean, they're not wrong, but what do you want, a fucking medal? Stealing Earth moms to program these robots by draining their memories and killing them is a very simple solution. They kill the moms at sunrise. I don't know why. Is their machine powered by sunlight? The idea of a solar-powered killing machine is so funny to me. The sun having destructive powers. This is like the opposite of Tangled the series. Gribble kind of left out the most important part, the killing part. Milo just thinks his mother's memory is going to be wiped away, which he's already scared about. Thank God, the reality of this situation has finally hit Milo. I was so afraid that this kid was going to be like, she won't remember anything? Then maybe she won't nag me. Then maybe she won't remember that I said that I hate her. Nope, the rescue plot is starting up. This is awesome. P.S. Small part of this whole sequence, but when we saw some of his mother's memories play out, there was one of him painting the cat. And you wonder why the mom is always so frustrated? Why is this kid always messing with the cat? Back to Milo freaking out, and Gribble, rather than comforting this kid, explains how powerless they are to this situation. Like, get over it and move on. I gave a lot of movies I usually wouldn't watch a chance. I think Mars Needs Moms inspired me. Speedrun! Wish is just as bad as everyone says it is. Holy shit, I thought you guys were exaggerating, or maybe trashing it a bit too much. I have never watched a movie where I forgot about it as I was watching it. The most forgettable movie of all time. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken was really fun, but I'll probably never watch it again. It has no rewatch value. My TikTok For You page fed me the entirety of Inside Out 2, and I liked it more than the first one, because I really didn't like the first Inside Out, but the second one was fun. I think it expanded the inner world a lot more. All of these movies pale in comparison to the spectacle that we are breaking down here today. So back to it. Gribble gives Milo a Mars watch, which counts down the hours till sunrise. This is how we find out that the main conflict of this movie from this point on lasts 7 hours. Maybe that's why the movie feels 7 hours long. It was intentional. Let's do some math. Why? We see that the Martian watch has 64 lines. 18 and a half of these lines are full. 18.5 divided by 64 gives us a percentage of the day, and that is 0.28, or 28% of the day. What's 28% of our 24-hour day? 6.9 Earth hours, which is exactly what Gribble said. Mathematical king. So a Martian year is a little double an Earth year? So why are their days triple as long as Earth days? Matt Pat, come out of retirement, we need you! Mars needs moms, but I need answers. Gribble encourages Milo to go up to the girl Martian base, disguised while he guides him through the speakers. Gribble does not think Milo will save his mom. In fact, Gribble confesses to the RoboCat that he sent Milo up there to be chased so they can save him, which will make Milo grateful to them and stay where it's safe. Doesn't matter what the intention is, this is a huge asshole move on the side of Gribble. And on top of that, he also casually says a very offensive saying about Native Americans. What the fuck? When I watched this before, I thought he said engine. Like, I'm a machine that cannot tell a lie. That's unfortunately not what he said. This is the first time I put on the subtitles and caught this. Fucking weird. Disney doesn't put up a warning of insensitivity because they don't think anybody's watching this. As Milo is marching in line with the military woman, he notices some spray paint on the wall. Gribble admires it. It's clear he's familiar with this art, it's a form of rebellion, and the supervisor hates it. Milo gets caught at a checkpoint, and when Gribble goes to save him, he pushes the wrong button and opens the wrong trap door. Gribble panics, but once he traps some of the guards in an elevator, and Milo runs away, Gribble is preemptively celebrating. He dances and pats himself on the back so loudly, he can't hear Milo begging for more help. But what he does hear is Milo exasperatedly calling him an idiot. And Gribble's feelings hurting. He doesn't help the kid that's getting shot at until he apologizes for calling him an idiot. But even then, Gribble gives bad directions, and he can't help Milo out after that because he gets caught by the Martian women. As the military detain Gribble, we hear him shout for his mother. I'm sure you know where this is going, but remember that for later. We see the eye-rolling Martian from earlier, and she's the one that's been doing all this spray painting. When she sees Milo, she calls him an Earth hatchling, and she's very excited. Even when his translator is off, she is speaking English. He asks her how she's able to, and she explains that she saw the supervisor and some other old Martian bitch watching Earth TV, I assume for research? And when they left, she downloaded as much of it as she could because she loves flower power and color and decides she wants to learn as much about humans as possible. Milo explains to her what a mom is, and this monologue is just as magical as I remember it being. His mom is kind. She takes him to Disneyland, and she reads to him, and she makes him hot chocolate, and she puts bandages on his cuts, and she hugs him, and such forced wooden delivery, it's impressive. Once more, with no feeling, my mom is kind. Milo saves Gribble from a firing squad, and Key, the eye-rolling alien girl, also helps them by giving them a gun. She does this right in front of the supervisor, so she's super fired. But before they can fire at her, she gets taken away by 2Cat in this hot air balloon thing. As Milo and Gribble are running away, they fall into a grotto. There's rainbow light flora and fauna, flying jellyfish. Wow, Pandora sure is beautiful. Forgot to mention, sorry, I'm so bad at play-by-play because I'm so used to condensing TV shows. But before Milo saved Gribble, he found a capsule full of Gribble's belongings. Gribble's full name is George Ribble. He has a shirt with a pic of him as a kid and his mom. Now we're up to the scene where Milo hit Gribble with his full legal name and the mother-son picture. This tore down every idiotic wall Gribble put up. The constant self-praising while running away from every problem came to a screeching halt. Gribble deflated, and for once, he was focused and soft-spoken as post-traumatic scenes of when they killed his mom in front of him played out. The visuals of this scene are brutal. The sheer evaporation, he's like a giant kid because that's the mental state he's been trapped in for the past 20 years. But when he tells Milo they're gonna get his mom back, in that moment, Gribble grew up. Sure, he still acts silly throughout the rest of the movie, but he wants to protect this kid from living the life he lived, instead of latching onto him because, again, he's the only friend he's had in 20 years. Gribble is done being frozen, mourning his own life. A true sacrifice, a true risk. After this scene that I would say was written pretty damn well, we have the most ridiculous lore drop that's coming from me. Key and 2Cat the Robo-Pet meet up with Milo and Gribble. Gribble, who has not met Key until this point, initially freaks out, thinking that she's going to kill him, which makes sense. But he warms up to her very quickly after discovering that she's the artist that has been spray painting the walls. It makes sense that this act of rebellion really inspired him, and when he blushes, she gets really excited because he can change color. I'm going to talk more about them as their relationship progresses, but I actually think this shit makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the reveal of this cave painting thing that shows a Martian family. Key is shocked. She's gobsmacked. She explains that the supervisor told them all that hatchlings were always taken care of by robots. This implies that the young Martians believe that robots have just existed forever. So their whole society is built on a lie that the supervisor told. This is such an elaborate lie. How long has this lie went on for? How long do Martians live for? How is there no one that remembers the before times? We've only seen like 2 old lady Martians and no old male Martians. Did they kill all the men until new ones were hatched from the ground? Did the supervisor invent the nanny bots? This is the type of stupid fuckery that makes me want to see more. Elements of this world are so delightfully vague. It tickles me. I'm tickled. Later on in the movie, we see that all the boy babies are raised by the man Martians, while the girl babies are raised by the nanny bots. So the men are still dads, but only to boys, and the girls are busy girl bossing. Alright, skipping ahead a bit, because I don't want to recap the whole, they knocked out some of the guards, they ran to this part of the ship. It's unnecessary. Milo runs up to his mom, and he struggles to wake her up. Right before the laser blasted her and evaporated her, he pulled her off the table. At first, she's annoyed, because she thinks her son just pushed her out of bed, but after she looks around and processes that she's on Mars, we get this reaction that should have won an Oscar. As the mother and son run back to the ship, Milo gets shot at. Whoa, Mars's gun laws are almost worse than America's.
You need to leave.
Anyway, Milo trips and shatters his helmet. In an act of total selflessness, Milo's mom gives her son her helmet, and she breaks off the latch so he's unable to give the helmet back to her. She passes out and almost dies, but Gribble remembers where he put the helmet he was going to give to his mother. Gribble gets it to her, and Milo's mother lives. Gribble really proved himself throughout this entire movie. And Key turning her entire species against the supervisor isn't too bad either. Listen to this shit. All it took for these obedient military women to 180 is Key showing a picture that she took on her phone or something of the family cave paintings. That is all it took. That is all the evidence they needed. The supervisor immediately fesses up. She wasn't like, no, that's AI generated, that's fake. No, the supervisor immediately admits it. She said that she saved all the women because the men weren't helping raising the kids with them, and raising kids sucks. So because this lady didn't like raising kids, she took away the option. She is somehow anti-choice and anti-life. The military women look over at their leader and then glance at the men who are just standing there like, that's all it takes. This is heteronormativity and the normalization of nuclear families to the next level. Intergalactic Adam and Eve type shit. They were literally programmed from the time they were born to be these warriors, and all it took was them looking at men and they're like, oh shit, they're cute. It's funny. How can this movie just be dismissed as an unwatchable movie when it made me laugh so much? When Milo and his mom return to Earth, Gribble explains that he's staying on Mars because it's different now. People are surprised by this, saying, why would he stay where all this extreme trauma happened? But honestly, I'm more surprised Key doesn't want to see more of Earth. Let me explain. Gribble grew up on Mars. The most developmental years of his life happened on Mars. He has lived more life on Mars than he has on Earth. He went through puberty on Mars. So it's no wonder he's attracted to Key, a Martian lady, more so than humans. Earth will always represent a life he could have had that was taken from him. Of course, it's not too late to live a life on Earth, but he chooses to live on Mars with his girlfriend and robo-pet. Key can also breathe oxygen, apparently, so she's just built different, clearly. I'm sure they'll vacation on Earth from time to time, but throughout the credits we see all the ways Key is fixing Mars. Look at all the colors! Look at the baby Martian peeing on the supervisor's face. That's right, they didn't throw her in jail, they just forced her to live a life she doesn't want to live. What a joyous ending. During Milo's family ending, we see his dad, and holy shit, is that Bo Burnham? Well, well. Look who's inside again. We finished the movie, so you'd think that's it. See you later, everyone. But no, let's discuss the book, some of the deleted scenes, and production. First up, the mom in the book was way more of a hard ass. I don't know if it's because the book is more so telling the story from the perspective of Milo, but Milo in this version has a dog and a sister. The mother's breaking point was when Milo painted his sister, and when Milo called his mother a tyrant, she said, no supper! No supper? So you're depriving him from food as a punishment? That is tyrant behavior. Milo didn't even say he wished he didn't have a mom. He just said he doesn't see what's so special about moms. The most mild insult of all time. It's not even an insult, really, it's just a thought. Apparently, she did close the door very slowly, but there was no mention of tears, forced or otherwise. Milo didn't wake up from regret or guilt. He woke up to the sound of the Martians. And guys, look at these Martians. They're like fish people. I love their designs. The Martians are also a lot nicer to the mom and their kids. These Martian kids apparently play soccer and eat pizza and aren't segregated by gender. The aliens also don't attack Milo or his mother. Milo was even going to tell the Martians that they did need moms, but he tripped and broke his helmet. It goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Book Milo is useless. Trips and fucking kills himself right out of the gate. No adventure, no self-sacrifice, no breaking free from the clutches of misandrist aliens, no befriending a 30-something orphan. Where's the pizzazz? In fact, the aliens just help them. It's that easy. This is the first time we see his mom's face in the whole book, and I adore this art. Curlers and hair, an exhausted look on her face, but in her eyes there is no fear, just love. She tells her son, I'll love you to the ends of the universe. Seeing her face in this moment is to show that this is the first time Milo has seen his mom for who she truly is. He humanizes her. He doesn't see her as a monster anymore. The art and intentional choice to not show her face up until now makes this pretty clear, but they also spell it out because it's a kid's book. Milo opened his eyes, and for the first time, he saw neither a broccoli bully nor a slave-driving garden ogre. He didn't see a tyrant or a dictator or a weary driver to soccer games. Suddenly, he knew what was special about mothers. Listen, I think it's nice to teach kids about empathy, but I'll just say it, some moms suck. I feel like I can clearly see a mom who's just mean and cruel giving this book to their child to gaslight them. You see, moms are special. You want me to go to Mars and kill myself to prove it? The Martian saved Milo's mom and brought Milo and his mother back home. No giant action sequence, no violence, no killing, no uneven power dynamic. They just needed to learn empathy too. How sweet. People say the book is much better than the movie, and once again, I'm gonna have to disagree. The movie is camp. Are there changes I would make to the movie? Absolutely. But it's so ridiculous. It entertains me. People will argue that the art style of the book is better, and objectively, 10,000%. I'm not an idiot, but there's an element of vibrance that needs to be taken away when depicting a tyrannical government. Very rigid and lacking color, that's the whole thing. That being said, it does end up just being generic metallic sci-fi that looks vaguely Star Wars-y. It's what we've come to expect on all spaceships that are ran by the bad guy. I do enjoy seeing the behind the scenes of this motion capture technology. Look at all the amazing things these actors are doing with their faces. Especially the supervisor, played by Mindy Sterling. She's done it again. She slays as every villain. The iCarly teacher, the Shredderman principal. She's way too good at this typecast. Hey, what if I'm the good guy for once? Play the bitch. And the principal. Play the bitch. She principal. That's all you'll do. Also, Seth Green provided the motion capture for Milo, and there are deleted scenes where they used his voice acting, and dude, it's so cursed.
Look out, the enemy!
I'm so glad to see Smiling Friends is utilizing rotoscope, because they lean into the absurdity and weirdness. That same absurdity and weirdness is how I feel when I see the actor for Gribble's face on Gribble. It's bonkers. They just look exactly the same. Like him more than any other character. At that point, why not just make the movie live action? I like watching bad movies. And with cult classics in particular, what really brings a group together are screenings with different traditions. Throwing spoons watching The Room, throwing toast watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Can I please propose mine for Mars Needs Moms? Manifesting I can actually make this happen in real life, but here are some of my ideas. Every time a disgusting alien baby appears on the screen, we all have to aww. When the kid throws ice cream on the floor, we shout, "She doesn't want it! She doesn't want it!" We do the with the old-ass supervisor. After Milo says, "Dad!" we all cheer in an uproarious stadium-level way. We don't even have to hear the rest of the phone call after the sheer joy of, "Dad! Dad!" During the dinner sequence up until the cat throws up, we all throw up broccoli into the air. I'll just demonstrate this next one.
My life would be so much better if I didn't have mom at all.
No, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean that.
No, he misspoke.
Dude, say sorry. I have other ideas, but I want to see if I can get a big enough group together and share it on my second channel.
Mars needs mom.
Yes! He said it! Here are some standout moments from deleted scenes. The first scene from the Blu-ray is an extended cut of the intro, where after the baby pops out of the ground, it hugs the leg of a Martian in puffy armor. The adult Martian screams in fear and punches the baby back into the crib jail. It's kind of sad, but it's mostly funny, kind of like the rest of the movie. I will say though, the treatment of these babies further proves that Key was also stripped of her freedom in a similar way that Gribble was. They were oppressed by the same system. The The only difference is Gribble knows what he lost. Key couldn't even conceptualize love. I think this is another reason they're a good pair. There is no uneven power dynamic. They gain their freedom at the same time. They're both fish out of water. They're learning and growing together. The next deleted scene is Milo's mom discovering that Milo destroyed part of her garden. And instead of yelling, she actually plays into his game in a way that tricks him into helping her garden, showing that he got his smartassery from her.
I suppose you think you're pretty clever.
And also, I love that the mom mentioned planting these flowers to make the dad smile. Very sweet detail, unnecessary to the plot, but it's nice to see her kindness extend past her son. She's more than just a mom. In this deleted scene anyway. In the movie, that's all she is. Also, it's bonkers that all the women characters don't have names. Mom, the supervisor, and you might be thinking, oh, Key has a name, but she only got that name from Administration Unit 231-KI-312. This movie is hilarious, dude. Oh, moms are amazing! Especially when they know their damn place, and aren't humans outside of their relationship to their offsprings. First name Milo's, last name Mom. The scene of Milo calling Gribble by his real name was supposed to be way more explosive and angry on the side of Gribble. And the weird thing is, that's still very much in character for him. I'm glad they went with the more quiet, reflective one, because it allows Gribble to empower himself, rather than have the kid promise him a home so he won't be alone. Again, it's still in character. They definitely could have gone with that. But it would have been a lot less satisfying. Especially because in the OG movie, Milo's mom told Gribble his mother would have been proud of him. And it was so earned and deserved at that point. It would have been less with this aggressive defensive route. Also, we see this very long scene of Gribble escaping and inventing after witnessing his mother's execution. The obstacles and props they placed for this actor to play with was honestly really awesome to see. We have him discovering Martian tech, teaching himself the language. All the while, he's mourning. He's in a state of shock. This was fantastic work on the actor's part. It felt like I was watching a one-man play. He killed it. Oops, wrong choice of words. Don't cry. But seriously, I'm so glad they still released this performance. Even if you hate the movie, I beg you to see the humanity in it. Now more than ever, we should really try to uplift the good parts of bad art, so these fucking robots don't take the heart out of it. In conclusion, as I've said multiple times throughout this video, Mars Needs Moms should be a cult classic. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Next week we're covering Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends. I think it's gonna be a doozy as usual with the lore series. Have a great day. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe, and let me know if you like my new hair. Okay, bye!